What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the HASANABI broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles. Folks, we're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one, because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is a Monday, News Day. Abolish apartheid-free Palestine, folks. I'm Hassan Piker. I'm live, I'm alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one. No, that shirt and the glasses, you look like my dad. This is weird. Sunshine. I look like your dad wearing a Japan jersey. What? Oh boy, another jersey. Yeah, I'm on a jersey arc. I've been rocking some jersey. I'm not gonna lie. This is a I show speed thing where like a jersey automatically invokes a sense of anger or a sense of love in the audience. And I also think they look very cool. So I've been on my jersey arc. Also, I'm a fucking Yoji fiend, as you guys know. That's what they call me, the Yoji demon around these parts. This is the Y3 Japanese jersey. And it's very big. I thought it was going to be like the regular Japanese sizing. So I saw a XXX one that was like super cheap, and I got the XXX one, not realizing that this was actually gonna be XXX. It is literally XXX. Look at this. Like, it's big. Also, I got the friggin' sleeve. I got the German sleeve that Chatter recommended. It's actually nice. You dress like grandpa? Yeah, I got the Bergenstocks. I'm so comfy. This is so cozy. Bro, trying to be I show speed unk status? No, this is my cozy fit. I'm wearing like a vintage Adidas corduroy pant that's like also not really a pant, but is like a sweat pant, but a pant. And I'm wearing the fucking Y3 Adidas collab Japanese national team jersey. And I got the Bergenstocks on my feet. I'm not copying speed at all. I'm just being an unk. This is the most unk fit. This is the most unk fit of all time. Speaking of which, so as you guys know, I got injured yesterday. Personal news wise, I got injured yesterday when I was playing basketball. Classic flagrant one foul. Dude pokes his foot underneath me while I'm taking a fadeaway fucking 3-point jump shot, and he goes right underneath, puts his foot right underneath me. I obviously roll off of his foot, roll my ankle. At first I couldn't even walk. I was like immobile, and I was really scared. I was like, oh shit, here we go. I'm done. Like, I'm definitely cooked, right? Turns out it's not as bad, luckily, I think, because I ended the broadcast last night. Didn't really do much. It hurt a lot. I had a Father's Day dinner with the fam. We had some Turkish food, and it was great. And then afterwards I went to sleep, woke up early, and I cracked 2 Tylenol, not to be too crazy with it, but yeah, I'm a little bit of a drug user. But yeah, I popped two Perkies, and by Perkies I mean Tylenol. I'm high off that Zaza, the acetaminophen. Yeah, popping hard drugs, dude. Which is off-brand Tylenol. I'm a fucking Tylenol addict, dude. I'm a Tylenol demon, dude. Oh, I'm so crazy with it. I'm so crazy. That sounds like an ankle sprain. I get those when I play football. Yeah, I'm a acetaminophen fiend, dude. Get me off that paracetamol. Going crazy off that. I rarely ever actually even take like any off-the-counter pain relief medication, because I have this notion that like I have to brave the pain. It's very stupid, but I have to like use my mind control powers to unless it's like literally unusable. I rarely ever use any sort of medication, but this time I did it, and I'm gonna be honest with you, light work, like putting a little bit of strain on the injury, like getting some blood flow there while also simultaneously compressing it, has been very successful so far. But yeah, I ripped a I ripped the 2 Tylenols, dude. Off-brand Tylenols. Being the acetaminophen fiend that I am, I went in, I worked out this morning, and I felt fucking spectacular after that workout. Actually, there's validity to that because studies show using anti-inflammatory painkillers causes your body to stop learning how to heal, basically. Yeah, I'm a big advocate for, like, you know, my body is good. Like, I can heal myself. You know what I mean? I'm a big advocate for believing that I can just, like, definitely heal myself. Also, this was helpful in my healing process. This little asshole, she's sleeping all the time. Doesn't do anything. Yeah, that didn't stop me. Also, yeah, it didn't stop me from going crazy mode. Just throwing up 225s. Like, it's nobody's business. You know what I mean? It's nobody's business but mine. Yeah, just throwing it up. You already know. Could you bench me? I'm 180 pounds. Easy. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Personal news wise, yeah, hit the weights. My point is, the reason why I was talking about that is because regardless of your pain, it's always good to work out. Working out always makes you feel good. It makes me feel good, and it will make you feel good too. So I hope those words will help you. I hope those words will help you push through when you're like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym today. I don't want to do this. I want to do that. You should push through, and you should go to the gym. Stop promoting workouts. I will never go to the gym. Yeah, well, one day. I still believe. 77K likes though. The CIA doesn't have to do anything. No, Twitter left this. Death to America is not a convincing message to Americans. What? I mean, they're not wrong. Like, yeah, it's not. But it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to convince you. I saw something on TikTok that I thought was, like, actually pretty interesting about MLK's tactics, MLK's protest techniques, and nonviolence and violence. I think it's really interesting. It was let me see if I can dig it up, but I'll talk about this in a second. Like, in terms of optics, this guy was arguing that MLK wasn't trying to get white people on board by having what the fuck? This is the first thing that came up on my TikTok. God damn, look at this. This is as soon as I open this up. Here, we'll start off there. We'll start off on the optics front on the protest. Obviously, protests have been happening all around the country. There's a lot of back and forth in terms of, like, there's a lot of back and forth in terms of, like, what the best possible way to protest is and yada, 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 and what the bad parts of protesting look like or what bad kinds of protests look like. I am in favor of protests and demonstrations regardless. You guys, as you probably know, I don't mind if it's like a libbed up protest. At the end of the day, I still think it's good. Here, this is a very short piece about MLK and what he was doing and what he was utilizing in terms of, like, optics. It's an attitude that I never really considered as well. Here.
Favorite tools to use was violence, right? Like, he never once led a nonviolent protest. People getting beat within an inch of their life for ordering food is violent, right? But he was a mastermind at manipulating the visuals of violence. He understood that watching black people get beat up on live television is not an effective strategy at making racist people any less racist. But you, as a black person, having to watch your defenseless mother and aunties get hosed down is actually an extremely effective tactic at enraging both you and your local community to violence, right? There's a reason why after every major MLK sit-in, peaceful protest got televised, there would be widespread violent uprisings, both large and small, all around the country. And this threat of widespread violence is what caused change. And there has been a lot of historical propaganda that goes into portraying the civil rights era as being the product of white empathy and not fear, the dominant group in America.
Yeah, it wasn't those protests and, like, black people getting their asses beat at the civil rights sit-ins and whatnot that were inherently nonviolent on the protester side, but there was tremendous violence against them on the police side. The violence in that regard and the imagery in that regard was not for white people to fucking feel sympathetic to black people. They didn't give a shit at all, which, of course, as you guys know, MLK also openly talked about in terms of, like, white empathy and how white moderates were a significant hurdle to developing a coherent, successful civil rights struggle that had that had some kind of motion. White moderates were like, no, we're not on board with that at all. Now, of course, also MLK does not work single-handedly with like on his own without Malcolm X, without the Black Panther movement, right? Without the Black Panther Party. And those guys were definitely not nonviolent. They understood that there was a necessity in certain instances for a little bit of militancy, recognizing perfectly that no matter how much militancy they applied, it would never reach the standard of the state, which is true. Like what they did, even if they were to get into like shootouts every now and then or engage in the act of self-defense against the state that was like brutalizing black people, ultimately none of that would reach the standard of systematized violence that the state was enacting with regular frequency under the auspices of lawfare. Point is, it wasn't about garnering attention from it wasn't about garnering attention and sympathy from white people, even though that is how people talk about it. Like that's literally like the most famous way of approaching it, which is to whitewash the things that took place during the civil rights struggle, and then making it seem as though it was like white people's sympathies that finally gave black people some legal parity. That wasn't the case, obviously, and this perfectly demonstrates that too.
We're never overwhelmingly in favor of any of MLK's protest tactics, right? He forced their hand. You can either accept the nonviolent terms I'm offering, or you're going to be forced into a violent reality. It's not an appeal to empathy, it's extortion. And I think particularly towards the back end of his life, he started to make certain realizations, right? That you cannot argue with somebody in a language they do not speak. You wouldn't argue to an Italian man in French. You wouldn't speak to a German man in Spanish. So why are you trying to speak to a country that was built on the back of slavery and violent revolutions with peace, right? And I mean, we kind of seen how that ended, right? I don't know, y'all. I just think if your oppressor agrees with your method of protesting, you're not protesting, you're loitering.
This is why I always say, like, there's a place for everyone in this, okay? Like even the liberals, the Barbers and the Deborahs coming out and showcasing their discontent with the current administration. That's good. So you won't see me shitting on those guys. Like I'll make some jokes every now and then, but obviously like I'm in favor of that. I'm in support of that. I've talked about how I'm in support of all of that. But also you won't see me poo-pooing other methods of protesting and trying to dismantle or dismantle certain pieces of the state, or maybe become undeniable, become a real nuisance, muck up the works, gum up the works to the best of your ability. Like these are things that people have done throughout history, throughout successful protest movements, throughout successful revolutionary movements. You can play a role in this. Just don't stand in opposition towards people that have similar goals that you have, right? Did the lib lay down and take it when the police charged them? Not the ones that were around. By the time I got there, they were eating it. But there's not really much you can do other than eat it when you're in that situation, because the cops are just like indiscriminately firing directly into the crowd, aiming at heads in that crowd. So it doesn't even matter. Peaceful protesting is good for getting attention for stuff, but it doesn't enact actual change. Historically, it doesn't work like that. And the other methods feel impossible now because the state is militarized rapidly against us. It's never impossible. You got a lot of numbers, dude. That's all I'm saying. Danny Dunham, everyone's favorite anti-child drawing UN ambassador to Israel. He said, I am appalled by the outrageous and anti-Semitic incident that at the International Arms exhibition in Paris, where the booth of Israeli companies were concealed behind black walls. This discriminatory act singled out against Israel, while representatives of other countries were freely allowed to showcase their technological innovation. Yes, he does have a fucking lisp, by the way, for the record. For the real knowers, for the real Danny Dunham heads out there, okay? This is as close as you can get to his accent. Bro, admit you practice that in the shower. Israel stands at the forefront of global technology, and it is clear that some nations feel threatened by our exceptional capabilities. This is especially absurd considering that Israel's actions are aimed at protecting the free world, including France and Europe, from Iranian terror. Instead of isolating Israel, the world should stand with us and learn from our knowledge and capabilities. Yes, you guessed it. Danny Danon said, stop being anti-Semitic to Israeli arms manufacturers. It is something that I have said as a joke before, is like, wow, you're being quite anti-Semitic to Israeli weapons manufacturers. Like, wow, attacking Elbit systems. When will the anti-Semitism stop? Is something that I have joked about. And now we have officially moved on from this being a joke to this being a sincere position of the Israeli government. Israel's UN ambassador is tweeting it out sincerely. What the fuck is happening? This is incredible. Yeah, this is okay. Tell me I was off with my accent.
Of the United Nations, where thousands of people are passing every day, the UN decided to put an exhibition about world peace. Look at the drawings of children from all around the world.
Look at the drawings of children from all around the world.
Nothing about Israel. Nothing about our hostages.
Not one. I'm Israel. Hi. Not one. Not even one child. These are drawings of terror. These are terror children. This is not a parody. This is the real, bro. This is a real art installation of children that the United Nations put up at their fucking headquarters. It was a world peace art installation of children drawing stuff on a quilt. Danny Danon literally went there, cut this video, and actually successfully got the United Nations to take this art installation down.
Look what they have. They don't recognize Israel. They promote hate in those drawings.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite when it pans over and it just says, teach peace. Peace begins with a smile. It's all, when he goes, they are teaching hate to these Hamas children, terror babies doing drawings. And he points to it and the camera pans to peace. Everyone knows peace is terror. How much did Hamas pay for these terror children to draw the terrorist quilt drawings? Not one drawing for Israel.
That is shameful. This is part of the hypocrisy of the United Nations. I demand that the UN will remove this exhibit immediately and will stop with the hypocrisy against Israel.
They did. They literally did. He got them to take it down. I cannot believe that this was a real thing that happened. Oh my God. I will never be able to take a person like this seriously for the rest of my fucking life. Oh my Lord. What a ginormous baby, dude. What a fucking giant baby. Israel, the giant baby nation with nuclear arms, okay? Holy moly.